Cheers, Captain. So today I'm going to be talking about content pitfalls and what actually are they and what should you be looking for when you're writing your own SEO content. And one of the main things I want you to take away from today is what is Panda. So some of you might think, what is that? But you'll soon find out. So Google has many ways in which it ranks SEO services, and its algorithm is constantly updating and changing. So they're always rolling out new ways of ranking. And so I'm just going to go over a brief kind of history of what sort of major algorithm updates there have been. So in 2011, and what I meant by Panda was there was an update affectionately known as Panda. And this specifically looked at how Google rank different types of content. And more importantly, how it penalizes or duplicate or malpractice that it goes against Google's terms of service. Another one was Penguin. This was in 2013, and this specifically looked at link building and backlinks, again, to see if there was any malpractice. Hummingbird in 2013 was looking at the semantic understanding of the search engine. So what are you actually meaning when you search for how high is Everest? You're not looking for a load of articles just about Everest, you're looking for specific information. You've then got Pigeon, which rolled out in 2014, and that was looking at local SEO and how to improve local listings. And then more recently in 2016, you've got Possum, which again was looking at local, and this time it was trying to stop sites that had multiple things and were playing Possum, basically. This is only some of the different updates there have been. There are many, and they're constantly updating, but these are some of the major ones. So Panda, this is the one that is most important to content. And this specifically looked at duplicate or low quality content. When it rolled out in 2011, it had a massive impact. It hit 12% of all of Google's search traffic. If you think in 2011 there were 1.1 billion Google searches, so 12% of those affected is an absolutely massive number. That had a big backlash, because that's 132 million searches that have been affected. And some sites even saw a 90% drop in traffic, which is absolutely huge. And in some cases it can be very difficult to recover from unless you're a well-known brand and kind of know what you're doing with SEO. So as I was saying, they're constantly updating. Panda released an update in 2016 called 4.0, and that hit eBay really badly. eBay saw an 80% drop in their organic traffic because they were doing certain malpractice with doorway pages and internal linking. And that took a massive hit, and they've only started to recover from that not too long ago. So it's always important to kind of keep up to date with what's going on. So in the old ways, kind of what sort of malpractice were people using and implementing? A lot of techniques were known as black hat techniques, and these are what go against Google's terms of service. So some examples that we'll kind of go into a bit more detail are keyword stuffing, duplicating content, and article spinning. So again, there are many more different techniques that were used that Google sees malpractice, but these are some of the main ones that apply to content. So if we look at keyword stuffing is simply the overuse of a keyword to rank higher in the search engine results. So you want to get to the top of Google. It used to be the case, but the more often you used a keyword, the higher you would rank. So people used to just absolutely stuff and fill pages with keywords and keywords and keywords. But that's not very user-friendly. So what they decided to do was make that text white and put it on a white background. That way, when a user sees it, it looks like that. So they don't get any negative impact from it other than seeing a massive white space. But if you were to highlight that text, and what the Google crawler sees when it goes through the website is all of those keywords. So Google obviously wanted to crack down on that, and so that was one of the algorithm updates that they put into place. Duplicating content as well. This is one of the main issues that people see when they get potentially penalized by Google. And basically duplicated content is content that exists in more than one place on the internet. The vast majority of the time, this is completely unintentional, and people try not to do it deliberately. So some examples where that can happen: if you've got different URL variations, or you're trying to do certain tracking parameters in your URLs, when you set them up, it can actually create a duplicate version of that page without you realizing. And when that happens, if you don't have the fail-safes in place, Google will see it as there being two pages with duplicate content, and they might penalize you for that or might mark you down. Another one is scraped content. Now, this is completely out of your control. This is where another user or website decides, I want your content. they grab it and they simply paste it on their website as they want. Google is getting very good at noticing now where content is uploaded originally. So if you were the originator of the content, Google knows this because you posted it first and you're not going to get penalized. But content that is taken and put on other sites will maybe get penalized. And a great example of this is one of our previous clients, Spinados. They had a campaign called The Big Toddle, which was for toddlers to do a sponsored walk, only very short, to raise money. And what happened is one of their competitors decided to come up with the exact same fundraising idea. I think they called it the Toddle Waddle or something like that. Anyway, they copied and pasted Bernardo's content exactly, word for word, the entire page. And what was brilliant is they actually copied in the contact phone number for the event. So people were ringing up because they were saying, oh, this Toddle Waddle, yeah, I better sign up. And they're going straight through to Bernardo's. So even if you try and do it deliberately to be malicious, sometimes it doesn't actually work in your favour. Another way that it could happen is mirror sites. Now, we recently had a potential client come in. They saw a dip in their organic traffic and they weren't too sure what had caused it. So we had a quick look into it and we saw that it might be due to a penalty implication, possibly due to duplicate content. So we spoke to them and they came back and they said, oh yeah, what our web developer was doing is to save changes on the website before he posted them live, he made the version of the website again, just for his own personal copy, so he can make changes. And he was making the changes there, but the website was live. So he had the exact same website live, posting changes before it was going on the main site. And so Google obviously sees the main site as copying his content, which then saw a penalty as a result. So they've now got a lot of work to try and regain the rankings that they potentially lost from that. So another one, article spinning. This one's one of my favourite ones because it is hilarious when it goes wrong. It is the process of taking content, putting it through what's known as an article spinner, and what they will do is they will replace certain words in the content with synonyms. What this does is it creates new content with the same meaning. In practice, this does not work. Exactly, so it's literally copy it in, paste it, hit a button, go. I took a section from our website. So we operate on the technical end of the digital marketing spectrum, predominantly in search and analysis, which helps us deliver the best results for our clients. So that's the original one. I decided to put it through an article spinner to see what it would actually give us. So this is what it came out with. We work on the specialised end of the computerised showcasing range, prevalently in pursuit and investigation, which helps us convey the best outcomes for our customers. You can kind of see where it was going. It doesn't really make sense at all. In many cases, when people want to make lots and lots of content, they won't just spin an article once. They'll do it several times. But if you use the original wording, it will come up with a similar theme. So what people tend to do is take the spun article and spin it again. Take that spun article, spin it again. I did this 5 times, and this is what we came out with. So we field on a specialised bring to a close of the avant-garde promotion range, dominantly in poke into and cut and try, which helps us add up to of the first water outcomes for our customers. So it's basically Chinese whispers. It ends up with an absolute load of nonsense. And if you're a user and you came across that page, you'd be like, who the hell's written this? So yeah, Google wants to crack down on that. They want to provide content that is useful for the user. So yeah, they basically put ranking and change the algorithm ranking so that you'll get penalised if your quality content is low. So what actually classifies as kind of poor content? So these are just a few things that classify, and it is a bit of kind of, well, it's up for debate what exactly counts, and there are many different opinions, but my definition is content that is not relevant. Google is looking for really relevant content that provides useful information to the user. If you've got content that's not relevant, why should they rank you highly for what you're trying to rank for? You're not going to provide the user with any data. It doesn't make sense, article spinning. Again, that kind of goes for not relevant. If they don't understand it, what's the point? And then this you can kind of take with a grain of salt. So less than 250 words. That's kind of what we recommend as a good kind of base level of content on a page. There are exceptions to this though. If you've got a big brand, for example Coca-Cola, and they do 100 words on a new drink they're putting out, Google know that Coke are a really well-trusted, renowned brand. So they know that what they're writing about is probably highly relevant to what they're promoting. And as a result, they might not have to have as much content on the page as a smaller business. Another case might be if you've got really highly relevant content and you're able to give the user exactly what they want right at the beginning. You don't need a massive pages and pages of content. If they're able to get the answer really succinctly, Google's able to see that and then reward it accordingly. So what could happen if you kind of don't abide by the rules? Often you'll get an algorithm warning, or there'll be rumours kind of in the Twitter sphere about Google making potential changes to their algorithm. And one of the main things to keep in mind here is that you always want to be doing best practice, because if you see an algorithm warning and it's potentially about dodgy content and you've been using dodgy content, you're not going to have enough time to change it before the algorithm update comes into place. And you can see your levels just drop off the cliff. It can take many, many months to bring it back up to the level you were even seeing before. And in some cases, if the penalisation is really bad, it can make you go bust. So, what to avoid? Black hat practices, poor content, most importantly, duplicated content. And I hope that you've all been able to take away that you never say no to Panda. Otherwise, this will happen. So, yeah, cheers. Thanks, guys. If you've got any questions, we'll be having a Q&A panel at the end, so please don't hesitate to ask. Cheers. Thank you very much.